So Jennifer, you have a brand new book coming from Wiley Publishing about wireless security architecture. I was wondering, with your long background in IT and IT security, why specifically you decided to write a book about wireless security?
That's a good question, because I think a lot of people put me in that security bucket. And, going back 20 and 30 years, I've worked in technology and I've done, I don't want to say everything, but I started in web design and development, and then it was wired networking and switch route and firewalls and WAN design and remote access and Wi-Fi and everything else. And security is just a part of all of that. But the security really is interdependent. So Wi-Fi security has components that are related to wired, extending into firewalls and of course remote branch offices and stuff now. And so I really just wanted something that was comprehensive, that anybody could follow. And it's really answering all of the questions that I've been asked of clients for the past 15 or so years in these consulting roles. Lots of different organizations, different industries, these common themes. How do we do this? What are the recommendations around that? And I just felt a book and something kind of definitive as a guide would be a great way to communicate that.
Well, what I'm taking away from that is that security concepts and strategies are constantly evolving and changing. So I would like to do a little exercise with you here. And if I could put JJ into a time machine and 5 years into the future, what would be your predictions about wireless security 5 years into the future?
Okay, first, I want to make sure I'm not aging when you put me in this time bubble, right? We're just pretending. Okay, so then I'll answer the question. 5 years is a long time in technology, but the thing is, when you look at the history, and David, I know you've been in the industry a long time, everything's very cyclical and it kind of rolls down a predetermined path to a certain degree. So looking a few years out isn't really unreasonable. I think some of the more immediate things, let's say starting in the next possibly 36 months or so, we've seen MAC randomization. We believe that is going to be extended more into endpoints, which doesn't sound that disruptive to most people, but it's hugely disruptive, which means completely new tools, completely new architectures, and new methodologies, and new endpoints. Frankly, we have to figure that out. There's all of the compliance regulations are going to start permeating a little bit more. We've had kind of loose stuff related to wireless and Wi-Fi, which is kind of segmented, managed privileged access, and that's going to be expanding because, as one example, we have to start thinking about SSIDs like VLANs because they are broadcast domains. So there's just a lot of these little nitty-gritty things that are going to be changing over the next several years.
Jennifer, what advice can you give enterprises that are thinking about deploying wireless security?
It's hard to summarize a whole book in one answer, but I guess a couple of takeaways there are that we do have to rethink how we're doing it on Wi-Fi. And I guess the other part is that Wi-Fi is not the only wireless technology. And I think the book, of course, demonstrates that a few different ways. We have things like cellular LANs, where we're taking the RF technology from cellular, but we're purposing it on the LAN. And then, of course, there's just the whole rainbow of fruit flavors of IoT devices and the wireless protocols that they connect with. So I think kind of the biggest piece is to understand which each of these are, how they can meet your mission for security and connectivity. And then really dive into and adopt those.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, enterprises should not just be thinking about Wi-Fi security. There's all kinds of other RF that are potential holes into your network and potential attacks, correct?
Absolutely. And it's been that way, right? I mean, Bluetooth has been around forever and BLE, and these have been attack vectors. A lot of those technologies are entry points for malicious attacks, as well as things like pen test. And it's kind of been because everybody knows Wi-Fi, but all of these other things, it's sort of like the black hole of connectivity. It's just out there, but we don't see it. And we've got to start getting visibility into those other technologies and those other frequencies and protocols that are in use.
So can you tell us once again, what's the title of your book and when will it be available?
It's going to be out with Wiley. It's available for pre-order, and it should be out probably late March at this point. Print and digital.
I'm going to go ahead and buy a copy right now, and I look forward to the read. Thanks very much, Jennifer.
Thanks, David, for having me. This is fun.